Gary, how you going? Business consulting, and very similar to, I've got a perfect question, and it leads into the other two gentlemen, which
Sure.
I understand. Here's my question. What I'm noticing is that there's a level of a trend around impatience, and there's a trend around, as you said, people, no longer respect the authority, and they want to challenge you a lot, right? And they're in shopping mode. So my question is this, and it's consistent with the other two gentlemen. I get what you're saying, and I practice it. It's fantastic. Where I struggle sometimes is, how do you deal with the person that wants to resist the questions and don't really want to get on board? They don't like your diagnostic approach. They're basically saying, I don't care about that. Just tell me what I want, right? Tell me what I'm here to ask you about. Like in that gentleman's case, it could be a mortgage. He says, I need to know about that. So when you get that pushback where people don't want to comply with just the answering any questions that you have that you need to assess whether they're a fit or not, and you're trying to help them, right? So you can give me some guidance around that, or some of your wisdom around how to combat that.
So just for fun and a metaphor, what do you think a doctor would say if a patient came in and said to the doctor, "My shoulder hurts, I need surgery, I need this medicine, and I need this, but no X-rays. Just give me that, please." So just for fun.
You'd say, "Well, what are you talking about? Are you kidding? I'm the doctor. You're not."
The doctor would say, "I think you need something else for your mind because you're crazy up here."
Well, yeah, that's what I feel like saying to some of these people. I feel like saying, "You're on drugs," like,
Of course. Okay. So I'm just playing around, but I want to make it clear for the audience that you have to keep your structure in your mind. You're the authority and they are not. Okay. They're going to try to hijack your agenda, Sam. They're going to try and come in there and command it and be the bull in the china shop, because that's their way of feeling in control. That's their way of not feeling sold by you. That's their way of defending themselves, what they think is coming their way, which of course won't come their way because you and others in our world don't do those kind of things. But that's the market right now. They're coming in with their guard up. So our job is to bring their guard down so they can trust you, so they feel vulnerable and open enough to tell you the truth of what their real problem is. Because when they come in like that, they don't tell you the truth. They give you a small percentage of it when they trivialize the problem, and you got to guess and bob and weave and hope you get it right. And that's really dangerous to do that. Now, the way you make the shift with someone like that, I get this sometimes too. People say to me, "Ari, what can you do for me?" And the first thing my system does in my mind is I lower my voice. I take a deep breath and I stay calm. Because people like that are trying to get you to a higher intensity level to match their level. You got to calm them down. So when the guy says to me last week, "What can you do for me?" What I said to him was this: "At this point, John, probably nothing." And he says, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, I have no idea what I can do for you to the extent that I can until I understand the full landscape or 360 of your situation. It's unethical for me to provide any advice until I do a full 360 quick view of your situation. Would you be open to me asking you a couple questions first so I understand more about the context of your challenge, and we'll go from there? Would that be okay with you? Now, I said it like that, even softly like that to them, and he just calmed down because what I said to him was logical. It makes complete common sense. He's being emotional and commanding and directive and controlling, right? I can't help the patient if they aren't in patient mode. So our job is to help these people move into patient mode so we can do our job of diagnosing their problem and unpacking that issue. So if you get someone who comes to you like that, Sam, who you can tell right off the bat is just really directive and controlling, you just got to sit back, take a deep breath, and just explain to them why you cannot provide ethically any suggestions or ideas yet, because what you will, if you did that, most likely they would be inaccurate or incorrect because you don't have the full picture of the situation and you don't work like that. Here's what you can say: you don't take shortcuts, you don't work like everybody else, and you have a process for how you get it done right the first time. You don't do any guessing at all based upon cursory information. And then you always say to them, "Would you be okay with that?"
Yeah. Look, that's perfect, Ari. I love it. I guess the question is, and you're going to love this one, right? What if someone still resists that point, which happens sometimes? They just ignore what I've said.
Then you say one more time, if you're not willing to allow me to understand you better and understand your situation so I can better diagnose it, I don't think I'm the best person for you.
That's a nice bold move. I like
There'll
that
be
one.
no, but notice my whole aura about me now. I'm backing away. I'm not confronting. See, he wants you or she wants you to confront them. That's a bully. Do not confront a bully, okay? Diffuse in this scenario, the situation, and they will back down. Now, if they don't back down, then exit them as soon as possible. If they do not comply with your process, they are not the ideal client. That's number one rule. You have a process. They've got to follow it. You'll give them one chance, maybe two, to adapt to your process. If they don't, show them the exit door.
Yeah, I think
do
that's
not
it.
Adapt to your prospects. That's the worst thing to ever do because they themselves need help articulating their own problem. And if you have the skill set that we have here, you know how to do that to impress them, the fact that you know them better than they know themselves. And that's what creates trust because they respect you by not you selling to them, but by you understanding them better. That's what, you know, when you meet someone, a wife or husband or girlfriend, you say to yourself, she gets me. She's got me. That's what trust is. Not educating them, not persuading them, not becoming their friend. Does that help, Sam?
It does. I think that the hidden message I've gotten there, well, not the thing that stands out is to be able to let go and know that not everybody you can save, not everybody you can help. And I guess that's, you know, because part of my thinking is, well, why did you come on the call for? You know, well, why did you reach out to me? You know, like,
but don't forget what. Remember, we have to give them some empathy. Think about where they're coming from. They're coming from a sense of fear, and they're worried. They're concerned that you're going to be super sharp and persuade and convince them to do something that they want to do. That's what their perception is of you, not you in general, but you, any expert. They're assuming you're smarter than they are. You're going to use that against them to make that sale. That's what they're thinking in the back of their head, because that's how they got, you know, that's how it is out there for everybody else, but not people who are with us. So we're the niche here, right? We're the fractional group who does not operate that way. So when they get to you, you got to calm them down with our languaging and our approach, and then you got to unpack their situation and go what I call behind enemy lines and go deep inside their world and stay in there till they finally say this to you. How can you help me, Sam? You got to wait for that moment. That requires immense patience. And letting go of the sale and focusing on the truth. Once you make that mind shift, you should be converting everybody who complies with your process at that point, Sam.
Yeah. No, I love it, Ari. No, that makes total sense. You're right. I mean, I've got to think about it from their perspective. They're probably guarded, they're jaded, you know, they've had a lot of conversations with people, and some of them have even lost money, you know, unintended. So,
correct.
Be more aware of that.
A lot of this is about empathy and caring, understanding where they're coming from, and coming down a notch for them to feel that about you, that you're not out to make the sale.
Yeah. The biggest thing you said, Ari, the biggest thing I just took as a takeaway is the first part, is to not fall into it. Just be calm, relax, and that in itself will take the edge off the whole thing anyway.
You'd be amazed. That comes from Aikido training, where when you have an attacker coming your way, you don't resist the attack. You diffuse the attack. You step aside and you move them into a circle of the ground. Same concept, Sam. When you feel like you're in a call with someone and you feel resistance, don't let that catch you into you getting resist back. You got to let it go and let it go right past you. That way you can think clearly. Otherwise, what happens is you're not thinking, you're acting, and you're not seeing things 360. That's the black
goal.
There.
That's the goal. Thank you very much.
All right, Sam. Good to see you.